Now we want to take you live to a press conference about any potential projects happening and changes happening on the 33. Let's listen in.
All right, are we good? Okay, I'm getting the thumbs up. Okay, everybody ready?
Born ready.
All right, good morning, everybody. Can you guys hear me? All right, everybody good? All right, good morning. My name is Marie-Therese Dominguez, and I serve as Commissioner of the New York State Department of Transportation. And it's great to be in Buffalo this morning. I want to first and foremost thank the Buffalo Science Museum for hosting us this morning. You guys are always great partners, and we really, really appreciate it. And your location couldn't be better for the purposes of what we're about to talk about today. So on behalf of Governor Hochul, I really want to thank everybody here in the community especially for hosting us. But, you know, I was in Buffalo about a month ago for about a week. A little bit of snow was falling and we had quite an opportunity. We dealt with literally a record level of snow that was falling for western and northern New York. And that time, the Bills had to move their game to Detroit. But last week, wow, what a win in the snow globe. That was pretty amazing. So it's really great to be back in Buffalo again this morning. But when I was out here for the storm in November, I traveled to Kensington every day. I was staying in the downtown area, and I would drive out to our center of operations. And I literally had to traverse the Kensington every day. But the roadway did what it was intended to do. One, we cleared it of the snow very quickly, but two, it literally got the job done. I was able to move very easily from one part of the city to another, and it was very, very efficient. But that's exactly the dilemma that we have here. How do we keep traffic moving while working to reunite an entire community that has literally been split in two for generations? That's why we're here to talk today about replacing that division with a new vision for Buffalo. Today, the State Department of Transportation is releasing its public scoping report for the Kensington Expressway. We have copies for everybody here. It looks like this. And you can also get it on our website, which is kensingtonexpressway.dot.ny.gov. But this is what we're here to talk about today. In June, New York State DOT hosted a public scoping meeting kicking off our engagement for this project. We did it here in the Science Museum. And the feedback that we received really helped inform the report that we're releasing today. After that meeting, we went back and we reviewed everybody's comments. We really listened to what the community was saying. And it covered a whole range of issues because we had presented 10 potential concepts for the project. And based on all of the feedback that we got and examining all of the environmental factors that we have to take into account, New York State DOT determined that construction of a 6-lane tunnel between Dodge Street and Sydney Street best fulfilled the project's objectives and should be advanced for further detailed study in an environmental assessment. So, the concept we're advancing today is a combination of what we outlined in June of concepts 5 and 6, which is really a 6-lane tunnel with either a tree or a garden-like setting. In that vein, publicly accessible green space would be constructed on top of the tunnel, potentially including rows of trees, pathways, benches, and other streetscape amenities. The tunnel would replace existing bridges at East Ferry Street, East Utica Street, Northampton Street, and Dodge Street, and the Best Street Bridge would be replaced. What we're calling the build alternative, and that's what we outlined in the scoping report, will be studied in much greater detail as part of the environmental assessment, which is the next phase of this project. And it also includes reconstruction of the Humboldt Parkway, while also looking at and implementing a complete streets approach to roadway design features. What does that mean? It actually means that we're going to make sure that it's complete, walkable, pedestrian, bike friendly, everything that goes along with good design on complete streets. Tunnel ventilation and a potential air treatment system to treat the tunnel exhaust will also be studied at great length, and the solution will be included as part of the environmental assessment that we put forward. And as we've previously reported, we plan to expand the previous project limits to over 600 feet. And as I said, it's going to extend all the way to Sydney Street. It's clear from the feedback that we received from the residents in East Buffalo who asked us to cover a longer section of the Kensington. And we believe that this extension of the tunnel is not only doable, but it's also a practical solution that will not only slow down traffic, but also, not slow down traffic, but it will advance the environmental process. By extending the project scope another 600 feet.
So the DOT announcing there that the changes to the 33 will include a 6-lane tunnel with a tree or garden and green space over it, walkable streets, and they would be replacing, for example, Ferry, Utica, and Dodge. The situation there would be covered there. So we have a reporter at that press conference. We're streaming that live for you on WGRZ.com if you want to listen in and continue watching that.